Welcome back to the Deconstructed Universe. That's right, we're back with episode 8 of season 2 of House of the Dragon. That's right, guys, it's the season finale. And yeah, when this episode ended, I was literally like, wait, is that it? It's just getting good. And like, I know I've been complaining, but it has been a slow season. Like, we cannot deny that it's been a slow season. But apart from it being a slow season, it's just been mainly centered around like the politics and stuff like that, which I understand. Like, we all understand it's political driven drama, it's got political themes, but like this finale, like at the end, I was like, oh my gosh, like it's just getting good. Everybody's armies are marching, like Tyland Lannister is like over there in like ASOS, like having like the worst time of his life. And he's out here cutting deals that are literally not beneficial to the Seven Kingdoms and the Stepstones. But he's like, I have to go back and face this one-eyed Cyclops who's crazy. He's gonna be crazy either way, but like I'm getting him to bust up this blockade, so like he's just gonna have to suck it. So yeah, like I will be back for season 3 because they can't just end it on that cliffhanger and me not know what the hell is going on. So we open up, and obviously, before we get into that, I just have to say, like, Alicent Hightower, her character arc has literally gone like into like a volcano made of like ash and steam, and like I can't stand that girl. I just can't. This woman, okay, I had like beginning of her character arc, I had some sympathy for her. I really had sympathy for Alicent Hightower. I was like, you know what? She was raised in this, you know, world which just basically values men. She's a commodity. She's property of her father, and if she's not a property of her father, she's property of her husband, and if she's not property of her husband, she's property of her sons. And I felt really sympathetic towards her, but her story arc has started off like in a sympathetic way, and instead of going full blown, like I've been saying this whole time, Cersei Lannister, like fighting for what you want, your children and everything like that, and being unapologetically grasping for power, she's literally been preaching peace, and she's been preaching in a way that has just been indicative and detrimental to her sons and her faction. And then at this episode, it just all comes into a head with her basically offering up her sons on a silver platter, and I just couldn't get behind that. I've been saying this from the beginning. Alicent Hightower is a terrible mother, and she's a terrible mother. She's a terrible mother, but we'll get into that further down the line. So we open up with Tyland Lannister basically going on this mission where Aemond sent him to basically negotiate with the Stepstones to negotiate with ASOS and basically the Triarchy to basically be like, you know what, we need this blockade broken, so I need you to go and basically do that. And we can just see, like, I don't know why, like this season has just made me like really love House Lannister, and it's just not something that I felt or ever saw myself doing, but like I do. I'm kind of rooting for House Lannister because like they're just so funny. These twins, they're just giving me like so much life and so much cackles on the side that I'm just like, you know what, like I'm rooting for you guys. I'm rooting for you, and I've never rooted for a Lannister. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, so we see that he basically is backed into a corner because he can't go back to Aemond and be like, you know what, like I didn't do it, they wanted the Stepstones, because the Cyclops is not going to take no for an answer. And we saw that in the beginning of this episode, he burned up I don't know what town it was, but he basically set Vhagar, I think on something point. He basically burnt up a whole city settlement thing just because he was angry that, you know what, Rhaenyra has these dragons and these dragon riders, and now he's on the left foot. Whereas before he was on the right foot. He had, the advantage, and now he doesn't anymore. So we see that. So we see like Tyland, he's very much aware that when this war ends and they have to give the stepstones to the Triarchy, they're going to impose taxes, they're going to drive up the prices, and Westeros is going to be in for it. But at this point in time, it's like one lesser evil for another. Right now, he has to deal with Aemond Cyclops, and and given that, he's just going to like give Aemond what he wants, and then hopefully at the end of the war, they'll figure it out after. So we saw that. Also, we saw Larys basically having a conversation with Aegon, and Aegon is out here begging for alcohol on his sick bed, and Larys is not really happy with that, nor is the Maester. But at the end of the day, they're both kind of like, okay, I'll give you what you want, just a little bit. And then obviously we saw Larys come in, and Larys was all like, listen, like, Rhaenyra has dragon riders now. Anybody with a dot of, Targaryen or Valyrian blood, or just if you have like just Valyrian blood, it doesn't matter. If you can claim a dragon of House Targaryen, you can fight for me. And I just realized now that Rhaenyra has not promised these dragon riders anything apart from you can learn to be a dragon rider. Swear fealty to me. And I'm just like, Rhaenyra, you haven't talked to these dragon riders and been like, hey, you're gonna get lands, you're gonna get a castle, and you're gonna get marriages in House Targaryen, to tie you to us, and your name is gonna be Targaryen. She hasn't done any of that. And this is just gonna come back and bite her in the little proverbial ass. But so we get like Aegon, he's just sulking. Larys is like, I've said it before, Larys is manipulating Aegon. I think Larys also knew that Alicent was like on some side quest where like it's gonna blow up in their face, because how does he know like this far ahead that King's Landing is gonna fall? Because probably his little whisperers probably told him that, what, Alicent has been like looking a bit shaky. So yeah, Larys is manipulating Aegon, but he's doing it in a way that he's gonna reap all the benefits. And not only that, but he's got a minuscule of care in there. So he cares for Aegon. He sees a bit of himself in Aegon as well. But the building blocks to this whole relationship is he's manipulating Aegon, basically. So this is the horse that he's betting on, and it's gonna win. But in the long run, it's not gonna be looking too good. But yeah, so we see that Aegon is like really sad. He's like, listen, like, I don't have my machinery anymore. I don't know how else to say that, but he said that it was a sausage and it burst in the flames. And yeah, so basically, I don't know who's gonna be the father of Maelor, guys. Because clearly Aegon is unable to create any more male heirs. So I don't know. Is it Aemond? Is it I don't know who's gonna be the father of Maelor. Are we even gonna have a Maelor? I don't know. So basically we see that Larys has made plans to get Aegon out of the city. Then we move on to where do we move on? We move on to see sorry, I'm like going back and forth right now, but we move on to see Aemond. He returns back from, burning whoever he's been burning, and he's very much like, listen, we need to lock King's Landing down. No boats come in or out, because obviously now he finds out that the way Rhaenyra got her messages in was through the fishing. But I just don't understand why like nobody has gotten rid of the gold cloaks or the city watch, because they're agents of Daemon, they're agents of Massaria, they're agents of the Black faction. And it's like, if the boats are coming in and out, who's letting them in? Like, nobody's thinking on this wavelength, and I just think, like, I don't know if this is like plot holes or if this is just boils down to the way that they're not thinking about it. They're just so arrogant. They're like, yeah, the golden cloaks are sworn to us, the city watch is sworn to us. No, they're Daemon's agents. One of the people that came in there and killed Jaehaerys was of the city watch. So I just don't understand any of this. I don't understand how nobody is locking this down still. So we see that he has this confrontation with Helena and his mother. Basically, Alicent is back, and she's basically like to Helena, yeah, we need to go. Like, and Helena's like, where would we go? She's like, I was happier before I was queen. And then we see that Alicent is just like, oh my gosh, like I started all this and now I want to back out. And it's just like, oh, I can't stand Alicent. I can't stand Alicent. She's a horrible mother. She's a horrible mother. She's a horrible mother. Alicent cannot redeem herself. And this is coming from somebody who was really, really, really like caping and vying for Alicent Hightower to just like come out on top. So yeah, Aemond comes back and he has this whole confrontation with his mother and and Helena. He puts hands on Helena. You guys, when I tell you, I was mortified as Alicent. And, you know, he was like, listen, Helena, you need to mount Dreamfire, okay? This pretender has basically put out lies there and making common people dragon lords. It's an abomination. We need to go. You need to ride with me to Harrenhal. And I was like, oh my gosh, Aemond. These people have the same name, Daemon, Aemond. I was like, Aemond, please let go of my Helena. She does not want to fight. She does not want to burn anybody. She is such a kind-hearted person. She's the only person within this madness that has a head on her shoulder that is like, this is going out of control. And we see later on, because obviously she's a dreamer and she obviously has seen what's going to happen. She is the only person that kind of knows that they're all kind of doomed, and she's the only person that's truly innocent in all of this. And I'm like, really, guys, really? I can't stand Aemond, but I feel like I can fix him. I know everybody has been like, you know, trying to get ship Aemond and Helena, and they were like thinking that, you know, he might be the father to, you know, Maelor and all of that stuff. But the way that this is going, he is. We better hope he's not the father of Maelor, because if he is, we all know, like, the way that he's acting right now is not cool, okay? And I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't want to put even that into the stratosphere. I know these characters are not real, but I'm heavily invested in Helena, and y'all need to leave my girl Helena alone, because I will go to battle for Helena, okay? Anyway, we move forward, and we see, like, on Harrenhal, Daemon is finally, like, on this, you know, on this whole entire season, he's been on this, First Men Psychedelics with Alyssa Rivers as his guide on this kind of Westerosi First Men ayahuasca, in this ayahuasca trip he's been on, and it's been kind of a metaphor for us, the viewers, to see where his mental space is and to see him kind of maneuver through these feelings that he has and, like, you know, this resentment that he has. So we also, that came to like a culmination there with, you know, the vision that he had. And yeah, I'm skipping over like a lot. I'm not going in order, but I just want to get to the good parts. But we're gonna like rewind it back here, and we're gonna go to Dragonstone, where we saw that Jaehaerys is still like kind of annoyed at his mother and, you know, what she's done. And obviously I've already touched upon Rhaenyra and how this dragon thing has gone left, and she shouldn't have. She's basically gotten these dragon riders and not promised them any land, not promised them any titles, not promised them, like, listen, I'm going to organize some marriages between you guys and House Targaryen, and we're going to switch your name to Targaryens. We're going to be a united house. She's just given dragons to these people and accepted their loyalty, but this is an opportunity for them. And we also saw that she has this conversation with Corlys Velaryon, and she's like, listen, I kind of don't know them. And obviously Corlys is like, listen, I can vouch for Adam of Hall, like he's worked for me before. And it's like, Corlys, why don't you just tell this woman that this is your bastard? And then we see how he has a conversation with Adam's brother. Is it Alan? I know I call him Ilan a lot, but anyway, Alan is really pissed because he's like, listen, you didn't even feed us, you ignored us. We used to see you with Laenor and your trueborn children picking like food and the best meats from the market. Do you know how that felt when we didn't even have bread to eat? Like, we were hungry. Do you know what hunger does to somebody? And we saw that Corlys went into deadbeat daddy mode and was like, I don't want to hear this. The way that he went into husband mode, like no good husband mode, cheating husband mode, when Rhaenys confronted him about these bastards, and he was like, what are you gonna do? Like, you gonna argue with me about this? I don't want to talk about this. It's like, really, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Men of like men of like all realms, and like even like not real men who are written in shows and TVs, they all just kind of just fall back into this programmed mindset of theirs when they're like confronted with their mistakes. And it's like, well, it's good to see that it's universal. It's universal, guys. Universal. And if you don't fall into that, then obviously I'm with you there. But if you know, it's all done in jokes, okay? We're joking here. So we see that happens, and then we also see, you know, Jacaerys and his future bride, Baela, you know, they have a conversation, and she's like, listen, it doesn't matter if you're a bastard, you're the queen's chosen heir, you need to show them why you deserve it. And it's like, yeah, at this time, at this moment in time, at this point, basically, Jacaerys is just gonna have to fight for it. He's gonna have to fight for it. There's a really good line that I got from a show. Basically, it was the White Queen. Oh no, it was the White Princess. It was the White Princess. It starred Jodie Comer, and she's an amazing actress. She's a phenomenal actress. And in that, you know, TV series, she basically, you know, was married to, I think it was like Henry the First. Yeah, she was married to like Henry, and she played the Princess of York. It was after the War of the Roses, and you know, she played Princess Elizabeth, newly crowned King Henry. You know, oh, it was Henry VII, not Henry I. Ignore me. I'm losing my history here. So basically, they have this conversation where there's obviously that pretender who pretends to be her brother. And obviously it was war. So she has this conversation with Henry, and she's like, listen, power is taken by force and it is held by force. And that just always stuck with me. And I think that this is just the motto that Jacaerys is just going to have to go with. Okay, he's just gonna have to take his power by force, and he's gonna have to hold it by force. And you know, if Alicent was really truly serious about this and a good mother, she would literally take the Iron Throne by force, and she would have held it by force. But obviously, we see what happens there. So obviously, the Castellan of Harrenhal sends a letter to Rhaenyra and is like, listen, your husband out here telling people that he's your grace, he's referring to himself as king. You need to get down here because we don't know what the hell's going on with him, and you need to just like come and see, because I'm worried. Like, I'm worried. The army is here, and now he's like over here skulking about the halls of Harrenhal, and I don't know where his mind is at. You need to come here and get your husband, okay? Even though Daemon has slapped you up before and you experienced some domestic violence from your uncle, you need to come here and, you know, put him in his place, because I don't know that you've been flinching from him behind closed doors, huh? So like, obviously Rhaenyra's like, listen, I can't have this. I'm gonna get Adam, get on Sea Smoke, we're about to ride out, and you know, you're gonna have to help me if it comes to it. So we see that she arrives at Harrenhal. Now, before she arrives at Harrenhal, we're going to tackle, what Daemon saw. And it is my deepest understanding and belief that Princess Rhaenyra's line was the promised line. What do I mean by that? I mean that Rhaenyra's line was always going to bring forth the princess that was promised, who is Daenerys Targaryen. Yes, that's right, guys, Daenerys Targaryen. Because we saw her in this vision. This vision was phenomenal. This vision was epic. This vision was just amazing. But the thing is, it kind of didn't hit as hard as it would have hit if in Game of Thrones we actually got a Targaryen to assassinate the Night King, because we saw how that worked, because it was Arya. But maybe in the books, it'll be different, because George R.R. Martin hasn't finished writing them, so maybe it'll be different, maybe it'll be more epic. But obviously, because Dany didn't kill the Night King and Jon didn't kill the Night King, and it was a whole Stark that killed the Night King, so it was just kind of but it was really great to see that Daemon saw what is coming for Westeros, and he was shook. He was shook. I would be shook. And obviously we saw that in the middle of this vision that he was having with Alyssa Rivers, we saw that he comes across Helena. Helena tells him, this is all a story, and you're one part of the story. You know what you have to do. And then we also cut to that confrontation, the second confrontation she had with her brother Aemond, where we see that she's whispering that. So we can see that this is happening in real time. And one thing that this season has done phenomenally is build on the lore of magic and, just try to get a better understanding of it. It's not done a very good job, but it's starting to do a good job, if you get what I mean. So we see that, and then we see that basically Helena, because she's a dreamer and she's seen everything, she gives Aemond the cheat sheet. She gives him the spoilers, and she's like, listen, you burnt our brother, you let him fall. And he was like, listen, that's a lie, it's treason. And she was like, listen, you can say whatever you want to say, I saw it. So now maybe he knows that she's a dreamer, And I appreciate that this time he didn't touch Helena, because before, when he was trying to get her to Mount Dreamfire, he touched Helena, and she doesn't like to be touched, okay? Leave my girl Helena alone. She's the only sane one in this whole thing, the only innocent one in this whole thing. So we see she's just basically like, listen, you're gonna die. Aegon sits on a wooden throne, and he's yet to see victory. You'll be dead, Aemond, you'll be dead, and nobody will ever see you again. And not only that, but what are you gonna do when I say no? Are you gonna force me? And that was the end of their conversation. He starts crying. Did he shed a lone tear? Now, I know this is just a reach, but when we saw that vision of the Night King, and we saw his nose, and then we saw Aemond's nose, and the way Aemond walks and stuff, could it be that the Night King is Aemond? I don't know. That's just a theory I'm throwing out there. Please help me in the comment section below. Is it Aemond? Is it Aemond? Anyway, so we see that Rhaenyra arrives at Harrenhal, and Daemon is like, listen, I've seen what I've seen, and you need to be you need to be queen, okay? I bend the knee. This is your army. Let's go. It's war. And Rhaenyra seems a bit shocked, but it's whatever. So we get to Dragonstone for the season finale, and we see this conversation between Rhaenyra and Alicent, and literally Alicent serves her son up to be killed. She's like, listen, kill him, okay? Kill him. I want to be free. I want to walk freely. Aemond is gone from King's Landing. You need to march in and take it. I just want my daughter and my granddaughter, and I just want to be free. And I was just like, Alicent, You started this. Your children had no chance because you were a horrible mother. You were a horrible mother, Alicent. You didn't prepare Aegon to rule. You were too busy ruling with the power that Viserys got you. You were too busy following Otto Hightower. You were too busy feeling sorry for yourself to raise your children, prepare them for power. And then it's not your fault that you misconstrued what Viserys said on his deathbed, because he never told you about the prophecy of the prince that was promised. He never told you about that. So yes, you misconstrued it and you were like, okay, this is what he wants. Your grandson is killed and you're telling me you do not raise hell? Like, too much blood has been shed. Now you falter and you're like, you know what? I don't want any part of this. You can kill my son. I don't care. You can kill my son. Like, you'll be queen. Let's do this. I was just like, Alicent, I cannot get behind you. If you're gonna, I don't know what kind of story arc this is, and this just gave me the theory that maybe Alicent is the one that poisoned Aegon. Maybe she's the one that poisoned Aegon. So yeah, we see that at the end of it, Rhaena found Sheepstealer, so obviously she's gonna claim him. So now this is the end of season 2. I will be tuning in for season 3, and I hope that it's more action filled, and I can't wait to see Daemon. And what did you all think? I give this episode a B. Yeah, a B+. It was great. It wasn't, slow, and I can't wait to see where this all goes. And I just feel like the tragedy in all this is that Helena knows that they're all doomed. So comment in the comment section, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome to the end of the video, and thank you very much for making it to the end. Make sure you check out Vertigo Honor Bound by Blood, the first installment in the Vertigo book series. It is set in 2095 at the heart of the Imperial Champion regime, where Emperor Gregory Champion rules over Earth and the colonies stretching out across the solar system, where there is a virus called the Omega virus that has mutated and changed the political landscape of Earth. This is a story about factions, about coming of age, about the importance of being firm in what you believe in a world where bloodlines matter. What faction are you?